Honourable members, ngiyabingelela ku Honourable Premier, MECs, honourable members, and the officials from the Department of Community Safety and Liaisons, as well as the staff from the legislature. Let us start our meeting because of isikhathi sethu sithanda ukushiya impela. We're going to start with opening. We open our meeting by saying I'm welcoming all of you in this committee stage meeting. Let us go to silent prayer or meditation. Amen. On our agenda, we are on item 3, committee stage on the following vote. 3.1, vote 9, Premier, on community safety and liaisons. We are on venue B, introduction, presiding officer, rules. Honorable members, this budget debate is conducted through hybrid means, and the normal standing rules of the legislature will apply to the debate. Connectivity. Before we proceed to the budget debate, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker which relates to connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate in a debate due to connectivity challenge. If a member has a problem with connectivity and is unable to deliver his or her speech, the presiding officer will call the next speaker on the speaker's list so as not to delay the proceedings. If the member regains connectivity before a response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible and allow the affected member to deliver his or her speech, with the proviso that the member reconnects to the sitting prior to the commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we request that a member who is scheduled to participate in the debate should arrange for a fellow party member to be on standby to read the member's speech into the record should the needed arise. The presiding officer will allow a fellow party member to read out the speech on behalf of a member who is unable to deliver his or her own speech. If all intervention failed and a member is still unable to deliver his or her speech and has not managed to arrange for a fellow party member or whip to deliver the speech on his or her behalf, that speech will unfortunately not form part of an official record of proceedings. In short, if members have connectivity problems, the presiding officer will follow the above guidance to try and assist them. We trust that it is in order. Lastly, members who are not actively part of a debate are reminded to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras at all times. Also, members are requested to take all reasonable measures to reduce any background noises that may interfere with the broadcasting of proceedings. Honourable members, I also wish to confirm that the budget report 2025-2026 of the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs has been... This is the wrong document. Let me correct by saying the Department of Community Safety and Liaisons has been tabled in terms of the standing rules. We will now proceed with the matters on the agenda, being the debate on vote 9. Okay. So we have our speakers. We will start with the Honourable Premier with his 45 minutes.
Thank you. Uh, Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Deputy Speaker, Ndabezitha Inkosi yesizwe, Honourable Chief Whip, Honourable members of the Executive Council, Honourable members of the Legislature, the Acting Director General, the HOD for Community Safety and Liaison, Mrs. Xaba Maketa, the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tlatla Mkhwanazi, management and staff of Community Safety and Liaison, leadership of crime fighting structures, members of the media. I must also especially acknowledge my portfolio chairperson, Honourable Mbali Fraser, everyone who joined using the online platform, and citizens of KwaZulu-Natal. I rise again before this august House to present the 2025-2026 Vote 9 Budget Policy Statement for the Department of Community Safety and Liaison. It is my pleasure to table the budget of the Department of Community Safety and Liaison for the 2025-2026 financial year, totaling to 275,716,000. Honourable members, our budget vote is presented under the theme Inspiring New Hope. Siqhuqhuzela ithemba elisha. I envision a province that is free from crime and violence. If crime fighting is not prioritized in the province, the economy will be affected, as the investor confidence will continue to decline. The lack of safety for residents in KwaZulu-Natal has been a pressing concern, significantly impacting investor confidence. High crime rates, including violent incidents, thefts, and blatant lawlessness, creates an environment of uncertainty that deters potential investors from establishing or expanding their businesses in the province. This insecurity does not only affect the quality of life for communities, but it also hampers economic growth as businesses seek safer and more stable locations for investment. To foster a more attractive investor climate, it is essential for local authorities to prioritize safety measures and community well-being, thereby restoring trust and encouraging economic development in KwaZulu-Natal. The department's programs are directly aligned to Chapter 12 of the National Development Plan, with the objectives of building safer communities by 2030, and that people living in South Africa feel safe and have no fear of crime. The department contributes directly to Priority 3 of the Medium-Term Development Plan, which is building a capable, ethical, and developmental plan, which is, in fact, with the emphasis on building safer communities and increasing business confidence. Therefore, a significant portion of the department's budget allocation is towards safety promotion activities, mainly in areas where there is instability in the province, or rather in hotspots areas. Attending to issues of gender-based violence and femicide, domestic violence, promoting police relations between communities and police, as playing oversight role, police is our mandate as the department, and we will continue to deliver on it. Honourable members, Our total budget is for the Department of Community Safety and Liaison, vote 9, for 2025-2026 financial year, which is 275,716,000. The summary of breakdown of the budget allocation under each program is as follows. Administration for program 1, civilian secretariats for police for program 2. The program is responsible for the administration program, which is program 1, is responsible for providing necessary administrative support for the service of the department to deliver effectively. For goods and services and compensation of employees, we allocated a budget of 116.8 million. For program 2, civilian secretariat for police, this program is responsible for performing functions of the provincial secretariat for police services in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We allocated a budget of 158.8 million under this program. One of the foremost priorities of the 7th administration is to build an ethical, capable and developmental state. This requires a multifaceted approach that prioritizes transparency, accountability, and inclusive governance. The department prioritizes the enhancements of its capacity to deliver on its mandate. This entails filling of funded posts, capacitation of staff on critical skills, advancement of technological innovations, addressing audit findings, and encourage a culture of continuous improvement and excellence as follows. As part of ensuring that the department's capacity to deliver on its mandate is enhanced, the process of filling funded vacant posts is set to be prioritized in the first quarter of the current financial year. Various capacity building programs, including granting of bursaries, are implemented to develop and further enhance critical competencies that are important for the delivery of core and support functions, whilst women representation in senior management is kept above 50%. Vigorous initiatives to attract youth and disabled candidates are being enforced. Programs on the management of diversity in the organization will be used to ensure that the work environment is conducive for disabled people to work without prejudice. A total of 8 internships and 9 in-service training opportunities were created to help graduates and students who disparately need experiential training as part of the academic requirements that need to be met to enable them to graduate. To drive the culture of improved excellence, professionalism, dedication, and integrity, the department hosted a Departmental Service Excellence Award ceremony on the 20th of March 2025. Events of this nature will continue to be hosted as they have proven to be very instrumental in boosting staff morale and confidence, and to inculcate the culture of continuous improvement in the department. On the audit matters, during the 2024-2025 financial year, the department received an unqualified audit opinion with material findings. Those matters are receiving special attention. We remain committed in obtaining a clean audit. The department, through internal control unit, has since developed an audit improvement plan to ensure proper implementation of the internal and external audit recommendations, strengthening measures in good governance and ensure effectiveness of the internal control measures. The plan will improve the sense of responsibility and accountability by all departmental staff. The department displayed its seriousness about addressing unauthorized, irregular and fruitless expenditure by developing its own policy on consequence management. This was followed by the establishment of the Consequence Management Committee. Almost 80% of the total cases that were referred for consequence management were addressed during the reporting period. The department will continue to ensure effective implementation of fraud and corruption policies such as whistleblowing and anti-corruption, whilst promoting compliance with the Code of Ethics through getting all staff to enroll for ethics management course. Comply with financial disclosure framework and acknowledging of receipt of the Code of Conduct documents. On the technological advancement, honourable members, the department is taking advantage of the latest technological innovation as part of managing its information, communication and technology, the ICT, governance and infrastructure. The department has an ICT strategy which regulates ICT governance and infrastructure. Through the implementation of the strategy, the department will ensure business continuity in the event of natural disasters and other unplanned disruptions. One of the guiding principles of the department's ICT strategy is cost efficiency and continuous improvements through technological innovations and digitizing business process to enhance service delivery. On Program 2, the provincial civilian secretariats. Honourable members, the main role of the department is to play oversight role on the police service, which includes the monitoring and evaluation of police stations. During 2024-2025 financial year, the department monitored and evaluated 184 police stations. The main findings of the monitoring include infrastructure challenges, shortage of resources such as personnel and vehicles. As the provincial government, we will continue to lobby the national minister to attend to these challenges. As provincial government, we remain committed to support SAPS with resources. This was evident through the donation of 36 vehicles to SAPS. 4 trucks converted into mobile police stations have been procured and will be donated to SAPS in the first quarter of 2025-2026 financial year. This donation is going to ensure that services are brought closer to communities who need them the most. Further to this, the department has placed 45 law graduates within priority police stations to assist the police as the South African Police Services deal with litigations. Their contracts will run until the end of the financial year. These graduates serve as force multiplier in providing additional capacity to the South African Police Services. Police stations are expected to comply with Domestic Violence Act. In short, the Act requires that police stations make provision for dedicated space, victim-friendly rooms for victims of domestic violence. Most police stations are sitting between 50% and 69% in terms of compliance with domestic violence audit. The department is already working with SAPS to improve compliance with the DVA. It is crucial also to mention that the department embarked on an intensive intervention through the DVA forum, and we have witnessed improvements in police stations that were once non-compliant into being compliant. These include Boston, Impenje, Begitemba, Montclair, and Lamontville police stations as just examples. The department continues to manage service delivery complaints against SAPS. These complaints are received through various methods, including the Premier's hotline. The number of complaints received during a 2024-2025 financial year was 79. These complaints are mainly on lack of communication, poor investigation, poor response, and lack of feedback by SAPS. The department will implement a mechanism to monitor progress and turnaround time for resolving complaints whilst the department's capacity to manage these complaints efficiently is improved. Improved community policing. Honourable members, there is an important role to be played by the community in the fighting against crime. In the past financial year, I led a series of crime fighting izimbizo, where I engage robustly with communities. In every platform, I encouraged communities to be ambassadors against crime. The discussion on crime fighting should not wait for government to stage izimbizo for it to start. However, it must start from families, churches, schools, and every community gathering, led by all the leaders of society, including amakhosi asedlunkulu, induna, the business leaders, the religious leaders, including the councillors, even the political parties. I would like to salute and acknowledge the men and women who have come forward to volunteer to be part of the community-based crime fighting structures. There are several community-based crime fighting structures who are working with government. Budget has been set aside to ensure that their work is enhanced through training and provision of tools of trade to enable them to fight crime in their respective areas. Honourable members, it has come to our attention that some members of community safety structures are found to be engaging in criminal activities. I wish to send a stern warning to those members that the law does not exonerate them. Should they be found to be involved in criminal activities, drastic steps will be taken against those members. A model to integrate and regulate these safety structures is being worked on and will be finalized in the current financial year. On the docket management and court watching a brief, honourable members, part of our responsibility is to audit charge sheets that get withdrawn in courts due to lack of sufficient evidence to prosecute, particularly on GBV and murder cases. We also visit police stations to audit dockets to ascertain the extent to which dockets for identified cases contain sufficient evidence to warrant a prosecution. The main aim is to ensure that justice is given to victims of crime. Through this function, the department is inspiring new hope for the victims of crime, especially those of gender-based violence and femicide, who have lost hope in our criminal justice system. The total number of dockets that were audited during the 2024-2025 financial year is 142. Of these, a total of 26 cases were reinstated back to the court roll because of our department. Most dockets that were dealt with relate to murder and GBV cases. We will continue with our mission on docket auditing, ensuring that we put gender-based violence and femicide cases at the forefront. Fighting gender-based violence and femicide, honourable members, KwaZulu-Natal is one of the leading provinces in terms of gender-based violence and femicide reported cases. This puts GBVF at the apex of our agenda as the department to ensure that we have programs that are aimed at preventing the scourge which are prioritized. Since the inauguration of the 7th administration, I have attended several funerals resulting from gender-based violence and femicide. The meteoric rise of gender-based violence and femicide incidents in the province has raised serious concerns among all communities, and as a result, I have issued a directive as the Premier and the Executive Authority of the Department of Community Safety and Liaison that these incidents must receive priority attention from all role players, including Department of Social Development, Office of the Premier, ondabezisa amakhosi endlunkulu, of which amakhosi kwangaseyona directive ngangikhuleka, and izinduna, private sector, crime fighting structures, faith-based organization, and all members of the community. The department has initiated district GBVF dialogues during February and March 2025, and these initiatives will continue to create greater awareness on the casual factors and a prevention mechanism throughout the province. In the interim, we will intensify the distribution of memeza panic buttons or alarm devices to most affected communities in the province to enable potential victims to raise the alarm and ultimately prevent the attacks from happening. Our medium to long-term solution is to introduce technological solutions to enhance our fight against gender-based violence and femicide. On the 13th of March 2025, I convened a brainstorming session with the ICT sector, wherein I gave them the platform to showcase technological solutions that can help in managing the scourge of GBVF. And I'm quite happy that also SABS, as led by the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkwanas, they've demonstrated, in fact, a strength in terms of technology. I know that in Inanda, there is some surveillance cameras that are being, in fact, installed. And the use of drones is also a measure which is made, used, in fact, in trying to curb crime in our province. Honourable members, we are mindful. That much as crime, especially GBVF, is a societal problem. It is also prevalent in institutions of higher learning and schools. As part of our campus and school safety program, the department is committed to ensuring increased awareness on GBVF, scourge, and other crimes. As a result, I have decided to take the fight against crime to schools and academic institutions, where incidents of gender-based violence and femicide are rampant. This will go a long way in curbing crime and GBVF in institutions of higher learning. Furthermore, the department has deployed 210 GBVF activists at hotspots police stations to provide support to victims of GBVF and further assist in raising awareness in the communities. As part of raising awareness of GBVF and enhancing commitment, we have decided to dedicate a week wherein we will be engaging with different sectors, including school principals, traditional leaders, church leaders, and other community leaders. This will culminate into a provincial prayer on GBVF. On peace and stability campaigns, honourable members, the department will continue to facilitate dialogue between communities which are in conflict with each other, several interventions in addressing conflicts in different municipalities within the province, working with other relevant departments and stakeholders have been conducted in the following areas affected by conflicts, which were characterized by killings: KwaNgqulu, in Ngutu under Umzinyati district, KwaMusi, stroke Onyango in Nongoma under Zululand district, St. Paul's and Espangeni in Mzimkhulu under Herigwal district. We are not going to rest until sustainable peace has been restored in these areas. On fighting cross-border crime, honourable members, some of the districts in the province share borders with neighboring countries such as Lesotho, Eswatini, and Mozambique. Districts affected include Uthukela, Herigwala, Zululand, Mkhanyakude, while Amajuba, Zululand, and Ugu districts share borders with Eastern Cape. I'm sorry, not Zululand, in fact, Gauteng and Mpumalanga provinces. The strategic location of this district makes them vulnerable to cross-border crime, which requires different methods of dealing with this type of crime. Our intention is to strengthen our interventions on cross-border crimes such as human trafficking, stock theft, smuggling of illicit goods and vehicles. The department will be collaborating with the relevant stakeholders such as SABS, South African National Defence Force, National Prosecution Authority, DHA, DSD, and the municipalities. These campaigns will further strengthen a partnership with border management agents and agriculture in the fight against cross-border crime. Cooperations have been started with the National Prosecution Authorities to deal with cross-border crimes. I wish to highlight the incident of Emangweni under Inkosi Langalbalele local municipality in Uthukela, where people were skeptically to join community safety structures to fight a cross-border crime that involves stock theft, which remains prevalent in that district. Following the department's intervention, we have managed to set up safety structures which are going to be instrumental in the prevention of crime such as stock theft in that area. These structures are going to be assisted through piloting the use of drone technology in curbing stock theft in Emangweni. Further to this, engagement with officials from Mpumalanga and Eastern Cape provinces, as well government of Lesotho, Eswatini and Mozambique have started to discuss cross-border crime with the aim to come up with workable solutions to address these crimes. On the promotion of social cohesion and safer communities, honourable members, part of our responsibilities to develop and implement programs aimed at promoting safer communities. During this fiscal year, we commit to heighten our resolve of galvanizing various stakeholders and community members to become proactive agents at the forefront of crime prevention. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of building a stronger, resilient and united front against crime. We also commit to step up our campaign targeting the removal of undocumented and illegal foreign nationals and vagrants from our streets. Our campaign dubbed Engangeni Ngesango Iyafohla will be implemented throughout the province. We will continue to conduct operations at identified hotspots across the province to ensure that we reclaim our streets that have been infiltrated by undocumented foreign nationals that have developed a network of criminals that makes it impossible for police to trace their movements. Honourable members, dilapidated buildings in the province give us sleepless nights. These buildings have become heavens of crime because they have been taken over by criminal syndicates that deal in drugs, human trafficking and prostitution and extortion. We are going to conduct intensified integrated law enforcement operations to ensure that we root out all these criminal elements operating in these abandoned and dilapidated buildings. And I'm happy that the Department of Public Works has prioritized to ensure that these buildings are actually also reused for purposes of the economic growth and to cater accommodation for those who do not have accommodation. We have made great strides to protect our communities, especially our children, from unscrupulous business owners who continue to sell expired foods, products not fit for human consumption, and counterfeit goods. Honourable Chair, as a leader of Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster, we will continue to strengthen its work. Working with various stakeholders, we pledge to continue conducting routine visits to ensure that all shops and spaza shops owners abide by a prescribed legislation and always obey the rule of law. The well-being and safety of the people of KwaZulu-Natal remain our foremost apex priority. Honourable members, on the 8 to 9 February 2025, the Council Against Crime held its first strategic planning session. This served as a watershed session wherein concrete resolutions were taken on how the province will tackle crime moving forward. On building stronger and sustainable partnership between police and community, honourable members, strengthening relationship between law enforcement agencies and the communities that they serve and protection of paramount, what is of paramount importance to ensure that we all work toward a common goal of achieving a safer and prosperous province. Continued engagement in all district and provincial joints will ensure improved collaboration with various role players. We continue to actively participate in the crime imbizo in all districts. These sessions afford station management, stakeholders and the community to engage on crime statistics, crime trends, and encourage communities to collaborate with police to defeat the scourge of crime in their respective areas. I must say, honourable members, that the manner in which the leadership of the men and women in blue provided by the Provincial Commissioner has in fact encouraged even the committee members to report crime now. As a result, there is an improvement in the manner in which people are reporting crime to the police. Indeed, community safety is our collective responsibility. This Izimbizo will continue to be used to restore the community's faith and trust in members of law enforcement. That they will continue to serve them with due diligence and always ensure their safety and security. On fostering relations with Amakosi to curb crime, during the State of the Province address, I highlighted the importance of the institution of traditional leadership in bridging the gap between traditional leadership and the modern state. To this end, the Department of Community Safety and Liaison commits to working side by side with Amakosi and Izinduna to champion the fight to eradicate crime in our society. We also encourage all traditional leaders to be at the coalface to end the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. Amakosi and Izinduna, through their wisdom and guidance, will begin to shape the attitude and the behavior of young men to ensure that they respect, honor, and protect the dignity of women and girl children at home, even at school and other spheres of our communities. Restoring social cohesion and moral regeneration is one of the responsibilities that we have placed on Ndabezitha Amakosi to lead and ensure that we have a generation of young men and women that obey and adhere to the rule of law, and they grow up to be responsible, law-abiding citizens. Furthermore, we commit to the rollout of an improved rural safety crime prevention strategy, where Amakosi Sendlunkulu are a fundamental partner with the main objective of ensuring that we realize social cohesive and crime-free societies. In conclusion, fighting crime is a collective responsibility. It is for that reason that we are reinforcing integrated community safety services through inspiring new hope. We urge all citizens of this province to work with us to build a safe and peaceful KwaZulu-Natal. We have seen that working in cooperation with different stakeholders, including a KwaZulu-Natal Community Crime Prevention Association, Community Police Forum Board, Community Police Youth Desk, and Justice Crime Prevention Security Cluster, produce good results. My words of appreciation goes, honourable members, to the Executive Council for the leadership that they continue to provide since we started serving the people of KwaZulu-Natal under the 7th administration. I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to the chairperson of the Community Safety and Liaison Portfolio Committee, the Honourable Member, Honourable Mbali Fraser, for the leadership in the portfolio as they play a crucial role of oversight. And the Honourable members of the Portfolio Committee, I must really appreciate the role they are playing quite smartly in ensuring that the department is doing what is expected to do, and even the guidance you are providing us in executing our responsibilities. I wish to also thank the head of department, Mrs. Glenn Aba Maketa, and her management and staff of the department, in particular the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, for the leadership he has provided in the police force in our province, or police services rather, in our province. We are really confident that the leadership is being presented is the one that is actually yielding the positive result. And we support his work across the spectrum, across political lines, across all lines. His work is visible, the leadership is visible, and together with your senior management and the staff from SAPS for the hard work and commitment in making the people of KwaZulu-Natal safe. Well, I know that my wife is not here, but on record, I must place that I also thank my wife, Umasbisi, and my family for always being a pillar of strength and shoulder to cry on. And I'm also appreciative of the commitment the technocrats of our Department of Community Safety and Liaison, and even in our government, they display that they really understand that this government means business. This government is the government of the people that is willing to go all out to ensure that we deliver to the people of this province. However, it's important that every citizen, every leader in this province must play his or her role of not criticizing, but of contributing in smaller communities or smaller pockets of the society in their areas to ensure that they work with government institutions to address challenges that our people are still faced with. Our role as members in this government, irrespective of the political alliance, is to ensure that we provide leadership in this government so that the future of the people of this province, in fact, will benefit from our leadership, will not benefit from our criticism, but will benefit from us providing solutions, important solutions to the challenges that the people of this province are faced with. I wish to finally also thank the community safety structures, umsebenzi abawenzayo, laba volunteer beyinikele, lapha esifundazweni ukubambisana namaphoyisa, uyancomeka futhi uyabonakala. Siyazi ukuthi abanye bazabalashikelwa na impilo yabo. Bevolunteer nje ukuba siphephe la esifundazweni. Nabo ngibashayela ekhulu ihlombe. Ngiyathoza kakhulu sihlalo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thank you, Honourable Premier. The next speaker is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honourable MC Fraser, 10 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, the Honourable Premier and your Executive Council, and the esteemed members of this august House. I rise again to table the 2025-26 budget report to this Portfolio Committee on Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, which focuses on Vote 9, Department of Community Safety and Liaison. This briefly outlines the deliberations on the 2025-2026 APP and budget. The Premier has covered areas where the Portfolio Committee will play vigorous oversight in the financial year. The Portfolio Committee met with the Department of Community Safety and Liaison on the 11th of April 2025 to discuss the departmental's final APP and MTEF allocation for the year 2025-2026. Honourable Chairperson, these documents were presented in details to the stakeholders at Ntuzuma, eThekwini Metro, on the 28th of January 2025, where stakeholders made their input into these as the Constitution mandates. The committee noted and observed that the Department of Community Safety and Liaison has recognized that it has an oversight role, and secretariat role to play over the South African police services and municipal police departments, promotion of community police relations and management of the enhancement of community safety structures within the province. As part of its oversight role, the committee will closely monitor the work of this department, the implementation of resolutions during the 2025-26 financial year, especially those from the Finance and SCOPA committees. The committee will also track its monthly and quarterly resolutions as directed by the sector oversight model, which is the SOM. The committee has noted that the Department of Community Safety and Liaison 2025-2026 provincial allocation has increased from the last financial year's allocation of 243 million to 275 million. This represents a budgetary increase of 13.30%, which is mainly attributable to the departments having received an additional allocation of 21 million from the 2025-2026 financial year, which has increased the department's baseline. This extra funding will support the community safety structures and electronic complaints management system, GBV activists, and the placement of the 46 law graduates in police stations. Again, in this vote 9, the committee will exercise vigorous oversight to ensure that no service delivery item will suffer due to the reprioritization of funds. We will play financial and non-financial oversight roles over the final allocation of 275 million allocated to the department in this 2025-26 financial year. The final allocation is for carrying out its mandate of overseeing community safety structures and police services. The sector oversight model mechanisms will also be utilized extensively by the committee, such as the committee resolution mechanisms, to ensure the portfolio committee effectively oversees the department. Honourable Premier, during the stakeholder session, which was held by the portfolio committee in Tuzuma, KwaNozaza in January. This year, the community complained that the budget of this department is inadequate to meet most of the needs in the ground due to the prevalent crime that happens in the community. A clarion call was made for the departments to increase its muscle in supporting community safety structures. People told the portfolio committee that community safety structures work hard to ensure community safety, but they are not safe and sufficiently supported by the department. Concerning the department's 2025-26 annual performance plan submitted to the committee, it has been observed that the department's performance indicators targets have increased from 29 to 35 per 2024-25 for revised final APP against the 2025-26 final draft APP. This means the department has added 6 new performance indicators targets in the 2025-2026 final draft APP. These included targets such as the number of non-governmental safety focused partnerships secured, the number of reports of safety models reviewed, and the number of police stations assessed on compliance with the Domestic Violence Act. Most of the portfolio committee members at the meeting supported the 2025-26 vote 9 budget. Inkatha Freedom Party voted in support, African National Congress voted in support, Democratic Alliance voted in support, Umkhonto weSizwe Party exercised abstinence. Minorities were not represented as Honourable Twala of the EFF did not attend the meeting. Honourable members, in playing its oversight over the above allocated budget, the Department of Community Safety and Liaison for the 2025-2026 MTEF, the committee wishes to bring to the attention of this House that it desires to assist the department in being a leading example in utilizing its shoestring budget effectively. The observations by the Portfolio Committee. During the engagements with the Department of Community Safety and Liaison, the committee could highlight the following areas of observation. While the committee knows the appreciation that the initiative of employment of GBV activists will continue this financial year, the committee would have appreciated being informed how many GBV activists the department intended to employ for this financial year. The committee has also noted that the department's targets have increased by 6 targets, but there is no visible plan to increase the staff complement to achieve these targets, Honourable Premier. Hopefully, the department can utilize its staff resources effectively to ensure that the target increase does not cause the department to experience negative consequences. The committee will be exercising oversight in this area as well. In conclusion, we take this opportunity to thank the Premier, Honourable Ntuli, for this comprehensive budget policy statement. We also wish to thank all members of the Portfolio Committee for the due diligence exercise during the consideration of this vote 9 budget of the Department of Community Safety and Liaison. We also thank the Head of Department, Ms. GP Xaba Makhetha and head department's senior management for their understanding during the robust deliberation. We also wish to thank the SAPS Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, and his senior management for honoring the Portfolio Committee by giving important reports at our meeting. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. The next speaker is MK Party, Honourable W.N. Mkhize, 12 minutes.
Yangiphazamisa umhlonishwa.
12.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Chief Whip of the Legislature, Honorable Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, umhlonishwa Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, ngiyakubingelela mhlonishwa. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party stand before this house not to decorate the failure with dynasties for the expose of the deliberate betrayal of the people under fortnight of community safety. Over the last two financial years, the department has been ineffective and inefficient in utilizing the allocated budget. As a result, our communities continue to live in fear. Our youth wander the street without jobs, and trust in public safety structure has significantly declined. Our community are being victimized by the criminals. Our children are not saved, and the police are not being used effectively to combat crime. Let the record speak themselves. In Program 1, the department only met 2 out of 5 performance indicators during the third quarter of the 2024 and 2025 financial year, indicating significant lack of achievement in the key areas of responsibility. Of the 518 planned workers opportunity, only 205 were successfully created, leaving staggering shortfall of 313 individual with disability and military veterans. For two consecutive years, the department has allocated 0% of the budget to support business on individual with disability and military veteran, reflect a concerning lack of commitment in inclusive and support for this group. Despite the apparent expenditure of the budget, essential services have not been delivered effectively, raising questions about the accountability and oversight within the department. Ngolimi lasekhaya, uma lolu hlelo lesabelo simali salomnyango sisaqhubeka sikhiphela iyouth yase KZN ngaphandle, nomama nobaba bethu nodadewethu nabafowethu abaphila ngokukhubazeka kanye nalabo ababelwela inkululeko, ama military war veterans. Umkhonto weSizwe ulikhahlela ngenyawo zombili lesabelo sezimali, as long as usakhiphela labantu disadvantaged before. This situation demands immediate attention, decisive action to ensure resources are utilized properly and that the safety and well-being of our communities are prioritized. I-MK Party ikholelwa ukuthi ukuphepha komphakathi akuwona umusa, kodwa kuyilungelo labo eliqukethwe umthethosisekelo kanye nelesintu nje. Umphakathi uyadinga ukuba namaphoyisa aqeqeshwe ngokwanele umnyango uyadinga ukuxhasa ngezinhlelo kwintsha yethu yaKwaZulu-Natal ukuvikela abesifazane, abantwana nabakhubazekile, ukuxhasa kwama-CPF asebenzayo, ukuqedwa kobugebengu phakathi komphakathi. The MK Party demands the department account for failure to deliver 300 planned work opportunities, urgent forensic audit on procurement and delivery, a suspension of repeat and underperform pending consequences management, redirect budget to grassroots community safe program. It is in its current form, it is a betrayal. The MK does not support vote 9 safely. Safely is not a slogan. It is our duty to the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Mkhize. The next speaker is from NFP, Honourable CM Shinga.
Thank you, House Chair. The Honourable Premier.
Sorry, Honourable Shinga. Sisazama ukufaka isikhathi sakho la. No, no 4 minutes. Thank you. You may proceed. Honourable Shinga.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. With all due respect, angazi noma anyone was referring to me by Honourable Mkhize. If yes, I'll be tempted to respond.
Honourable Mhlonishwa, I was actually responding to Mhlonishwa Ngapesha, not to you.
Thank you very much.
You did not say anything to me.
Honourable House Chair, the Honourable Premier, Honourable Bali Fraser, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honourable Members, HOD, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I rise on behalf of the National Freedom Party to reflect on Vote 9, Community Safety and Liaison, a vote that touches at the very heart of our community's daily realities. I begin by commending the increase in this department's budget to 275.7 million, reflecting a 13.3% rise. This increase is indeed welcome and timely, given the escalating crime rates across many parts of KwaZulu-Natal, especially in townships and rural areas. We note that this uplift supports crucial priorities, from strengthening community safety structures to deploying GBV activists and placing 46 law graduates in police stations. However, Honourable Chair, money alone will not solve the crisis of safety in our communities. It must be accompanied by accountability, strategy, as well as agency. In terms of community safety structures, Honourable Chair, we agree that they are the frontline defense against crime, but the people of Entuzuma made it clear that they feel unsupported and unsafe. These brave men and women patrol streets, report crimes, and mediate local conflict, yet they often do so without proper tools, recognition, and protection. We welcome the additional allocation, but we call for detailed public-facing plans on how these funds will be used to restore, train, and support all community safety structures across the province. We also welcome the deployment of GBV activities, saying it is a step in the activists, saying it is a step in the right direction. Moreover, with an expanded APP containing 6 new indicators from safety model reviews to DVA compliance assessment, but we ask, where is the human resource plan to match the growth? Oversight and stakeholder engagement. We commend the use of the sector oversight model and monthly tracking to monitor resolutions from the SCOPA and finance committees. We also note the productive engagements with SAPS leadership and the community. The NFP urges this department to institutionalize such engagements, especially in hotspot zones where crime data shows persistent violence. In conclusion, the NFP supports Vote 9, but we are clear that we will support the department that delivers protection, not just policies that engages people, not just papers that leads safety with visibility and not invisibility. We thank the HOD, Ms. Glenn Klaba Maketa and her team for the dedication, and the SAPS Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nkwanase, for the collaboration with the Portfolio Committee, but we urge all stakeholders to remember safety delayed is justice denied. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Shinga. The next speaker is from IFP, Honourable MP Kwala, 6 minutes.
Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Premier, Honourable Members, General Nkwanase and staff of the Department, Ihonga Zendao, all protocol observed. The IFP rises today with a matter of utmost urgency. We unapologetically and unequivocally implore our communities to rise in unified defiance against the scourge of gender-based violence. Let it be declared from this podium, enough is enough. The relentless tide of violence that plagued our women, children, and vulnerable citizens must be confronted head-on with unyielding courage and absolute resolve. As the IFP, we stand not only in sympathy but in unshakable solidarity with every victim, survivor, and family shattered by GBV. During 2025 KwaZulu-Natal State of the Province address, the Honourable Premier pronounced, and I quote him, "Without law and order, there can be no investment, no economic growth, and no social progress," unquote. On this point, we are emphatically in agreement. KwaZulu-Natal today teeters on the precipice of lawlessness. Crime has escalated to staggering, unmanageable proportions. Our communities live in fear. Our police are overburdened, under-resourced, and expected to work miracles amid bureaucratic neglect. Let us be clear, we salute the tenacity and unflinching bravery of our law enforcement personnel. Their commitment to safeguarding our communities is nothing short of heroic, and yet their noble service is being undermined by a budgetary betrayal of monumental proportion. It is quite frankly a scandal of the highest order that the Department of Community Safety and Liaison, the very cornerstone of public protection, received a measly 275.7 million rand budget allocation. This is a pittance and a slap in the face to every officer who dons the uniform with pride and purpose. the most underfunded department in the province is tasked with a Herculean responsibility of ensuring our safety, and yet it is left to scrape the bottom of the barrel. While the allocations for safety vests, radio and training are noted and welcome, there are petri tokens that fail to even scratch the surface of what is urgently required. The IFP called for genuine transformational investment in safety and security infrastructure. We further call for the full-year reinstatement and permanent expansion of Community Safety Intervention Unit for the protection of traditional leaders. Honourable Chairperson, IP, a captured institution. While we commend the effort of the Premier and salute the exemplary leadership of Lieutenant General Thamsanqa Ntuli, we cannot ignore the disgraceful flip-flopping by the IP on its so-called investigation into his conduct. Why was it initiated? Why was it withdrawn? Who stand to benefit? The IP has long decried the politicization of the IP, an institution now tainted by bias, riddled with conflicts of interest, and weaponized to serve political vendettas. How can justice be pursued when investigators are former police officers investigating their own brethren? It is a farce and a dangerous one. We call for urgent reform. The IPID must be restructured to ensure the independence headed by seasoned legal experts with no ties to police structures. Until then, its credibility will remain in tatters. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi has been targeted precisely because he is uncompromising. He has become a beacon of accountability, refusing to bow, refusing to bend. His leadership has vitalized the KZN police force, shattered syndicates, and restored a measure of public trust. We will not stand by and allow him to be undermined and persecuted by those masquerading as watchdogs. Honourable Chair, it is a betrayal of every survivor who places their faith in the justice system, justice delayed, justice denied. The IP call upon the Premier to escalate this matter to the highest echelons of the national government. I mean the issue of the budget for the department. In conclusion, the IFP stands unwavering in its commitment to justice, safety, and accountability. We support the budget allocation, even if it is such in their state, but only as a foundation for more urgent reform and immediate redress. With the Honourable Premier 18 Ntuli in charge as the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, citizens can rest assured.
Honourable Gwala, your time is up. Thank you very much. No, there is no injury time. Thank you very much. The next speaker is from ANC, Honourable M.E. Dlungwana, 4 minutes.
Ngisabingelela Honourable Chair ngoba ngizingela ngesimaku. Honourable Chair, allow me to congratulate Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and his team for the work that is currently being done by SAPS in the province. Hlonishwa ndunankulu umsebenzi womkhuzi wamaphoyisa kulesifundazwe kanye namathimba akhe wenza abantu babuyele ithemba kuhulumeni. Siyajabula ukuthi ensukwini ezimbalwa ezidlule amathimba amaphoyisa abambe abopha insolaboya lapha endaweni yaseNanda ebese ziumise kanzima kabhojoza umphakathi kuleya ndawo. Lokhu inkomba yokuthi amaphoyisa ayasebenza futhi ukuthi labafanyana bese bephendule indawo yaseNanda njengekiller capital yase South Africa. It is clear for everyone that a crime-free KwaZulu-Natal is possible, working together as stakeholders, including in our communities. The establishment of this community safety as an integral unit of government was a strategic move by the African National Congress-led government. Honorable members, we commend the Sixth Administration for various crime-fighting strategies and programs which include, among others, the employment of GBV activists. Also, with the process of the placement of law graduates in police station underway, community policing forums, and others. It is because of these initiatives and the hard work by the provincial management of police that today we can safely say we see results, as General Mkhwana has always emphasized that the relation between police and community has improved. Honorable Chair, one of the department's priorities is to enforce partnership between SAPS, community structures, business sector, and municipalities. This is one very important priority that the department which must be fully implemented and fully funded. As a result, we welcome the 14.5 million that has been allocated for this priority. Another important priority is improve cross-border control and fighting border crimes. Unfortunately, at this stage, this is not budgeted for. You will recall that cross-border car theft and stock theft has been a major challenge, particularly around Mozambique and Swaziland borders. The most affected areas, of course, included Golela border posts, Mtuba areas, Manguzi areas, Pongola and Nongoma areas. It is critical that the department prioritizes these areas and border posts and set aside appropriate and adequate separate budget to deal with border crime. Honorable members, our schools must be free zone for our kids, and they must feel protected and at all material times when they are at school. As such, inclusion of school safety as one of the unit in the safety promotion is a move that must be welcome, and the Department of Education initiative in our school safety is yielding results. Honorable Chair, crime-free KZN is possible, and we can work together, and we support the budget as the African National Congress. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dlungwane. The next speaker is from DA, Honorable R. Gokul. 8 minutes.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Premier, esteemed colleagues and guests. Safety and security weighs heavily on the hearts and minds of every resident in our province. The escalating crime rates, the fear that permeates our streets, and the daily reports of violence demand our immediate and unwavering attention. KZN faces a unique and complex set of challenges when it comes to crime, including high levels of inequality, corruption, unemployment, and historical trauma. KZN has a complex crime landscape with urban, peri-urban, and rural areas all facing different issues, from political violence and assassinations to gang activity, drug abuse, taxi violence, and gender-based violence. We all know the story of 11-year-old Zara Ramsamy, who tragically died during a hijacking in Melbourne, when hijackers carelessly drove over her fragile young body. What about the 74-year-old who was viciously assaulted during a housebreaking in and left for dead in Phoenix? Then we have a pastor who is a convicted child sex offender, but who is back in court on charges of raping another minor. And then this week, a teacher previously implicated in similar misconduct was not only redeployed, but to a more senior position at another primary school, where he now again stands accused of sexual grooming. What's happening in KwaZulu-Natal is nothing short of heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching to see innocent lives, especially children, caught in the crossfire of such senseless violence. The recent tragedies, like the little girl who was crushed during a hijacking, are not just statistics. These are lives stolen, families shattered, and communities left grieving and afraid. You can feel the weight of fear pressing down on everyday life. Parents afraid to take their kids out, elders looking over their shoulders, people losing trust in the safety of public space. It shouldn't be like this. No one should have to live in constant fear. And every one of these stories should shake us to our core, because they remind us that behind every headline is a child, a mother, a brother, real people whose futures are ripped away in a moment of violence. We need more than just outrage. We need change. We need accountability. And we need to protect the people of KZN like their lives depend on it, because they do. The Department of Community Safety and Liaison's 2025-2026 provincial allocation has increased from last financial year's allocation of 243 million to 275 million. But throwing more money at a problem does not mean it will get solved. A problem of this magnitude needs a cohesive plan with all stakeholders involved to ensure the budget allocated used is in a fruitful manner. The Democratic Alliance acknowledges that this extra funding will support community safety structures, an electronic complaints management system, GBV activists, and the placement of 46 law graduates in police stations. However, we note with concern that the Department of Community Safety and Liaison does not state how many GBV activists will continue this financial year. Reports indicate that priority crimes remain rampant, and the public sense of safety is diminishing. This situation raises critical questions about the efficacy of our current strategies and the management of allocated resources. Thus, despite an increase in performance targets, which includes a number of police stations assessed on compliance with the Domestic Violence Act, the Portfolio Committee on Police Oversight reports on police stations in KwaZulu-Natal reveal shocking details of the state of police stations in the province. We continue to regurgitate figures on documents, citing achievement of reaching all targets. Yet, the reality on the ground is far from that. The department also does not give a clear and concise plan of action as to how these targets will be achieved. Another issue across the board is filling of vacant posts, an issue the Democratic Alliance will continue to ensure oversight and accountability of. These posts should be filled not in a political manner, but rather on a merit system, as the current system only allows a pay progression rather than a rank progression, which is allegedly earmarked for politically connected members of SAPS. The DA envisions a KwaZulu-Natal where every citizen feels secure in their homes, on their streets, and in their communities. To achieve this, the 275 million could have been used to establish a provincial police service which is a dedicated force tailored to the unique challenges of our province, ensuring more localized and responsive policing. Enhance community policing forums, which will empower communities to take an active role in their safety through well-supported and effective CPFs. Invest in technology and infrastructure so that modern tools like CCTV surveillance, drones, and facial recognition systems can bolster law enforcement capabilities. Allocate resources to support specialized units within the police service, focusing on areas such as cybercrime, anti-gang operations, and gender-based violence. This would involve funding for specialized training, equipment, and operational expenses. Implement measures to enhance oversight and accountability within the police service. This includes establishing an independent provincial oversight body to monitor police activities and expenditure. Foster collaboration between provincial, national, and local law enforcement agencies. This includes joint operations, shared intelligence, and coordinated responses to cross-border crimes. Right now, the department's budget is going towards reacting rather than being proactive. Residents want to see and feel a well-equipped professional SAPS, but the budget does not show any signs of investing in SAPS members. Nowhere in the budget and APP do we see an action plan to professionalize and clean up SAPS. It is not a secret that there's a trust deficit between the public and the police, worsened by corruption and poor accountability. Funding towards an independent anti-corruption unit for SAPS could have gone a long way to restoring this trust. We have a terrible habit in government, doing the same thing and expecting different results. Many offenders are young, unemployed, and stuck in the cycle of poverty and violence. We need to reinvest in youth programs, skills development, mentorships, after-school activities, and sports to keep kids out of gangs. Early intervention is critical. Expand school safety and mental health support. Crime isn't about bad people. It's often about desperation, exclusion, and trauma. The DA is committed to making KZN safer for all residents by strengthening law enforcement, fostering community engagement, addressing socio-economic issues, combating GBV, and leveraging technology. We can create a province when everyone feels safe and protected. The residents of KZN deserve more than just promises. They deserve action. The DA is committed to working collaboratively with all stakeholders to implement effective strategies that will lead to tangible improvements in safety and security. Let us not allow the challenges we face to deter us. Instead, let them fuel our determination to create a province where safety is not a privilege but a right for all. KZN already has the knowledge, people, programs to make things better. What's missing is the will and coordination to scale these efforts. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kokul. The next speaker supposed to be Honorable Twala, but is not here. We will go to the next speaker. From the ANC, Honorable S.E. Hlomuka, 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Greetings to Premier, Executive Council members, honorable members, Provincial Commissioner, Baba General Mkwanazi, HOD, and all officials. Because of his card, let me take this opportunity to rise in this August House to appreciate the good work that is done by the Department of Community Safety and Liaison, working close with the SAPs and all law enforcement agencies. We really want to appreciate your commitment, Honourable Premier, in trying to deal with crime in our province. The 7th administration present an opportunity for South Africans to build on the progress we have made in realizing our vision of a better life for all. We must therefore appreciate the role played by the 6th administration and the previous administration in initiating and implementing in peaceful crime-fighting strategies, including a community policing forum and incorporating gender activists, because it's important that we appreciate that when the Premier joined the department, did not erase everything that have been introduced by the previous administration. That shows leadership. We also want to take this opportunity to appreciate the dedication and commitment of the staff in general from the department to ensure that the task that have given to them in trying to curb the high level of crime in our society within the limited resources, because we understand that there are limited resources. We are debating today, Chair, in this budget, knowing very well that the country is preparing to celebrate a milestone of 31 years of democracy. So it's important also to understand that, and we then therefore have a responsibility to appreciate, and we are owing our founders of democracy to ensure that every South African enjoy a fruit of true freedom, especially the president of the ANC, President Nelson Mandela, had a powerful and a profound understanding of freedom shaped by his experience under the apartheid and his decades-long struggle for justice in South Africa. Having said that, Honourable Chair, there are twin principles of peace and stability which are very important to ensure that we deal with crime in our province. Manje isikhathi masesincane uzama ukujumpa lapha nalapha ekhabazela kufana nalesi esinikezwe sona. We must also ensure that we pursue and implement the comprehensive and an integrated and a holistic approach to peace and stability and security, which include and reflect the local and regional and continental and international dimension. We must really appreciate the summit that have been called by the Premier, which also call all law enforcement agencies, including school safety forum, which they contributed. Hence, we see the fruits of that summit, and we are working very close with SAPs, and they are doing their visibility across our schools. But I must also indicate, Chair, that we are not happy about the Pietermaritzburg police stage, which indicated in your African Crime Index that the crime is high in Maritzburg. We want to appeal from yourself, Provincial Commissioner to
Thank you.
monitor.
Thank you, Honorable Shlomuga.
Oh,
Thank
one,
you
two,
very
three, we
much.
support the budget.
Thank you very much. The next speaker from MK Party, Honorable ENM Mthethwa, 12 minutes.
Bingelele sihlalo. Ngibingelele kumhlonishwa uPremier.
Honorable members, cela simnikezeni ithuba.
Ngibingelele ku Nkosi yesizwe ubaba uChilize saphumile. Kuma members wonke omkhonto wesizwe. Ngibingelele ku General wethu osiphathele ezokuphepha KwaZulu-Natal uGeneral Umkhwanazi neteam yakhe yonke noma ngayiboni nje kodwa ngiyazi ukuthi ikhona. Oh ibhekile. Siyabonga General. Ngibingelele kumphakathi wonke nje kwaZulu-Natal osilalele. Commanders morning. Yithi ndlizovuma yonke chair. Madam Chair, as a lawmakers, mkhulu umsebenzi okufanele ku legislature siwenze ukwakha imithetho yokuvikela abantu bakule province ya KwaZulu-Natal. The budget allocation to the department yezokuphepha komphakathi is equal to 0. Umnyango wezokuphepha udinga izinsiza nezobuchwepheshe zokulwa nobugebengu obuhleliwe cephelezi lokubizwa kakhulukazi ngokuthi i-white collar crime obenziwa ama-government departments and municipalities. Sihlalo siyawazi ke i-impact eyenzakalayo kakhulukazi if ubugebengu obuhleliwe buthola intuba yokuthi bungenelele bufaka isandla kwimali yomphakathi. Engizocela nje kakhulukazi ngenhlanhla ukhona uGeneral wethu no Premier umhlonishwa bake bavakashele kwisifunda sasothukela. Isifunda sasothukela sekuyisizinda sobugebengu. Since kwangena nje enye political party ukuthi iphathe kule yamkhandla. Sekuyinkundla la kwenziwa khona ubugebengu. Recently kusanda kufinalizwa i-forensic investigation ekhomba kona ukuthi kunabahlonishwa engabe sebehamba amacala ukuyophendula ukuthi izimali zomphakathi bayishonisephi. Ingakho ubona umphakathi wasothukela at large une challenge yokuthi uthola iservice efanele yamanzi. Kuvala imigwaqo mihla namalanga ngenxa yale corruption yabahlonishwa. Sihlalo hloniphekileyo izinduna namakhosi akukho la sibona khona isabelo sezimali zohlelo lokuphephisa izimpilo zabo. Mihla namalanga sizwa izigameko zokuhlukunyezwa nokubulawa kwabaholi bendabuko. And siwumkhonto wesizwe party siyafisa ukuphepha kwendlu yomdabu wendabuko kube nesabelo zimali oluzobhekana nohlelo lokuphepha kwabo. Akekho ngazi sihlalo ukuthi mihla namalanga imphefumulo yabaholi bendabuko iyalahleka. Umbuzo omkhulu ukuthi ukuphepha kuqhelelani engabe kuyasondela kukwazi ukuthi ngenelele ekutheni isizwe abaholi besizwe bazizwe bephephile. Siyafisa ukuthi nesibone isabelo sezimali esizokwazi ukuthi sibhekane ngqo nohlelo oluzokwazi ukuthi abaholi bendabuko bezizwe bephephile eindaweni abahlala kuzona. Sihlalo izinduna sekubukeka engathi amaphoyisa ayahluleka ukulwa nobugebengu obenziwa abantu bokufika kulesifunda saKwaZulu-Natal. Ukungabi nezinsiza ezanele ngenxa yesabelo zimali esincane kwenza umsebenzi wamaphoyisa ube nzima ukubamba lezi inswelaboya esezingene to all the sectors of the economy, including ema-tech shop, emalokishini, la okuyikona abenza khona ubugebengu, ukudayisa ama-drugs, bedayisela iy'ngane zethu, bebulala isizwe. Uzonothisa ukuthi umkhankaso omkhulu owenziwa yilaba bafowethu bokufika ukuthi ama-South African abe yisizwe esihlale sidakiwe. Kusetshenzwa-ke i-campaign yokuthi bakwazi ukuthatha over this country. So umsebenzi wamaphoyisa ubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi unikezwe, usupportwe ngayo yonke indlela ngezinsiza ezizokwazi ukuthi zibambe lezi gilamkhuba lezi, more especially ezingenawo ama-document asemthethweni wokungena kulelizwe nokuhweba ngendlela evumelekile esemthethweni. Sihlalo ukukhulisa umnotho kaZulu-Natal kuncike ekulweni nobugebengu, and konke lokho sizokuzuza ngokufaka imali eyanele ukulekelela izinhlaka ezilwa nobugebengu such as CPF and other community programs that are focusing ekulweni nobugebengu. Nokuthi sikwazi ukuthi i-youth yethu isimo semsebenzi basingasekho bakwazi ukudlala inxaxheba ebalekile kulolu hlelo lokuphepha komphakathi. Kodwa konke lokho sizoku-achieve ngokuthi isabelo zimali sikwazi ukuthi sikhulumise ngqo nohlelo oluzokwazi ukuthi lilekelele lezi inhlaka lezi ezilwa nobugebengu. Kungabi lula ukuthi sikhulume ngazo lezi zinto, but when it comes to implementation uthola ukuthi umsebenzi awubonakali kahle. Sihlalo sekucacile ukwenza izimbizo, imicimbi emikhulu edla izizumbulu zemali angeke kusakuvimba ubugebengu. Kodwa kungani kungathathwa leyo mali iyolekelela ekuqinisekiseni imingcele yesifundazwe saKwaZulu-Natal? Mihla namalanga kunezimoto ezebiwayo ziphume kwimingcele yethu, impahla engenayo nephumayo, imfuyo kanye nezingane ezitshotshwa mihla namalanga zeqiswe ziyiswe kwamanye amazwe ziyodayiswa ngohlelo lwezinswelaboya zibasebenzisa ezintweni ezingezinhle nezocansi. So siyafisa ukuthi Honourable Premier, lama talk shows esiwenzayo isikhathi esiningi mhlambe sikwazi ukuthi si-channel i-budget espendwa kakhulu kulezi imbizo ikwazi ukuthi ilekelele as much kuuhlelo ezokuphepha amasosha nawo engenelela kulolu hlelo, kodwa asikwazi ukubukela sibona ama-border gate ethu noma imingcele ingaphephile ngalendlela okwenzeka ngayo. Sihlalo ngabe ngenze iphutha elikhulu uma ngingeke ngincome imizamo eyenziwa uGeneral Ntuli and his support staff bonke osigaxa babhanda bakhona ekuzameni nokulwa nobugebengu kulesifunda saKwaZulu-Natal. Qhubeka General, ugwaze kakhulu ngomkhonto wakho. Ngomhla ka-2 kule nyanga esiyakuyona ngicela bonke abahlonishwa nabo bonke abahlali base South Africa babe yingxenye yezinhlelo ezihleliwe zohlelo olubizwa ngeMarch and March program yokuliswana nabo lobugebengu babafowethu abaqhamuka ngaphandle. Isikhathi esiningi uthola ukuthi abanawo amaphepha abagunyazayo ukuthi babe kulelizwe. KwaZulu-Natal. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu Honourable Mthethwa. The last speaker is from IFP. Honourable MC Mapisa from the IFP, 6 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, the Honourable Premier, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the members of the Portfolio Committee and everyone in the House. Honourable Chair, allow me first to start by addressing something. We have a serious crisis of the democracy. Democracy can give you something else, can give you a person who is the material, who should be working as a ward committee, and place that person in this august house. We have a serious problem that a democracy can give you a power monger, a demagogue, a lootist, who will always eye to access the purse of the institutions. The matter of Uthugela, people from Uthugela and within the province know what is happening there and where the ball was dropped. And the current leadership, they are in the process of fixing the challenges that happened at Uthugela. Honourable Premier, at the heart of any thriving society is a simple truth. People must feel safe where they live, work and raise their children. It is therefore encouraging to see that under the leadership of our Premier and with the guidance of the Premier, we are steadily moving in the right direction. We must acknowledge the firm steps taken to reimagine community safety.
Honourable members, ngicela sibe ne-order endlini.
Not as a sole responsibility of SAPS, but as a collaborative mission between the state, community, and civil society. The Department of Community Safety and Liaison is embracing this vision, and as the IFP, we support that direction. We particularly welcome the department focus on decentralization, ensuring that safety initiatives are not concentrated in urban areas alone. The organizational structure review aimed at extending the departmental footprint into local municipalities is a progressive move, especially for rural and historically underserved areas. This will bring the department closer to the people it serves. Honorably for rural and historically underserved areas. This will bring the department closer to the people it serves. Honorable Chair, the partnership model being prioritized by the department structure and trade must be applauded. In a province as diverse as ours, these partnerships are not optional. They are essential. When communities are part of the safety solution, we build resilience from the ground up. The allocation of over 90 million towards safety promotion, including school safety, youth crime prevention, rural safety initiatives, is another positive step. While others may see numbers on a page, we see an opportunity to empower communities, to give young people alternative, and to create safer space for women, children, and elderly. Equally promising is the department emphasis on monitoring and evaluation with 20 million rand allocated to this function. It shows a clear commitment to evidence-based policy. It says to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, we will measure what we do and we will improve where needed. This is the kind of accountability that builds confidence. We also welcome the department's support for community policing forum and community safety forums, which are vital mechanisms for community voice and oversight. Strengthening these structures will ensure that safety is not just enforced, it is co-owned by the people. Honourable Chair, we are encouraged that this department is aligned with the Premier's vision, one that does not tolerate lawlessness, but also understand that safety is more than policing. It's about trust, it's about access, and it's about sustained engagement. We do not overlook challenges. My colleague, Honourable Chief Whip, has touched on other matters. But it is clear that political will to address those matters does exist because the leadership is serious and the people are watching. Chairperson, allow me to say this in closing. The work of KwaZulu-Natal SAFER is far from complete, but under the steady leadership of our Premier, Inkunzi Kayihlehli, and with the department clear strategy to work with communities rather than over them, we are laying the right foundation. Let us support this budget as a commitment to safer, more united KwaZulu-Natal as IFP will continue to play our part not only in holding departments accountable, but in strengthening them, supporting them, and ensuring that our people see the change we all talk about. Together, we are not just growing KwaZulu-Natal, we are protecting it. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Honourable Mapisa. Honourable members, Honourable Mapisa was our last speaker in the debate. So now we are going to have our responses from Premier. Honourable Premier, Beuno 8 minutes to say. I'm not sure whether we can add on this. Okay, thank you. Uno 28 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair, the members of the Executive Council present, Honourable Shinga and Honourable Martin Meyer, the Chairperson of the Portfolio for Community Safety and Liaison, Honourable Mbali Fraser, Ndabezitha Inkosi Yesizwe, Honourable Chief Whip, Honourable MP Kwala, the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Ntahla Mkhwanazi, the HOD, Ms. Xaba Maketa, Acting DG, Mr. Zulu, honourable members of the committee, and all the technocrats, important technocrats present today. I must say, I find it at times difficult to understand the non-understanding of the already cleared and presented, in fact, knowledge when you listen to a display of the non-comprehension of the presentation, especially the plans are clear to achieve the targets. If you go to the pages here, they are in black and white. And I wish to invite members to also go visit them. Number two, I want to believe that as members of this committee, we are clear about the function of the department, Community Safety and Liaison, so that we will not in fact think that this department is a department of South African police services. And I think I was clear in highlighting or in lecturing or rather educating on the mandates of the Community Safety and Liaison department, so that in our debates we'll not talk about what is not in fact enshrined in the Constitution as a mandate given to this department, so that even when then we play oversight a role as a committee, we'll play oversight role being clear or understanding the roles and responsibilities of Community Safety and Liaison. And I wish to invite members to also just come closer to us, because I was able to clearly, in fact, distinguish the roles and responsibilities of this department here in the portfolios. Therefore, if members could not understand, I'm available even outside to sit down with them so that I will help them to understand the roles and responsibilities to empower the future debates so that our debates, in fact, will provide the relevant inputs to the work of this department. I felt I should start by that. Mhlampe ngisho ngesiZulu kuze kuzwakale wonke umuntu akuzwe ukuthi ngibone ngazi ukuthi inhlelo lezi zokuthi senza njani ukuthi siphela sifeze lokho esibekele kona zikhona lapha zifuthi ziqoshiwe kwimbala omhlophe nombala ompisholo emagameni lapha khona. Ngiyanxusa ukuba sibuye siyobuka lokho nanokugcizelela ukuthi sinikezwe muphi umsebenzi thina njengomnyango singagcini sesicabanga ukuthi singamaphoyisa thina ngoba ngichazile lapho ukuthi ngomthetho sisekelo esihlalo imuphi umsebenzi wethu. Manje sengathi ngasilekelela ukuthi amalunga ahloniphekile lendlu alilandele kahle lelo hlelo ukuze nanomnikelo abawenzayo kube umnikelo ozoqinisa ngempela ukusebenza kwethu singaxoxi indaba abanye bangagcine bethi inganekwane. Honorable members, I must say the total number of GPV activists, in fact, recruited last year was 200. And in 2025-2026, we're 200 and are going to be 210, but will recruit more to 220. And the budget allocated to supporting the community safety structures is approximately 14 million. And it is the largest allocation that has ever been to ensure capacitation of the safety structures. It means we are responding to the call by the community safety structures that they require a support from us as the department. I heard members saying people still feel unsafe in the province. It's true. But what is more important is the call we are making that we all have a role to play. And it's important that even in our political parties, we must be seen leading programs to enhance community policing, so that even in the society, no one will commit crime, knowing that when they see people, people are representing the police. Because criminals do not commit crime in the presence of the police. They look around. When they see that there is no police, then they commit crime. When they see us, they don't care, they continue to commit crime. But if we can understand, as honorable members, that ourselves have a role to play, ordinary citizens of this province have a role to play in terms of community policing, no one will commit crime in the presence of us. I think that's a message we must drive going forward. Even, well, on the issue of crime fighting, I thought we're going to appreciate that some serious crimes such as murderers, they have declined, which is an indication of that the police are doing good work and the community safety and liaison department safety structures are doing a good work. Because you see, when police talk about intelligence, they also talk about us who will give information to the police. They talk about the lead they follow through the cooperation with the various stakeholders in the society. Hence, in areas of hotspots, you see the crime fighting being more because of the cooperation that is happening there on the ground. Well, the budget is not leaving out vulnerable groups. Ngicela kunesiqinisekiso bakwethu ukuthi laba sithi bangama groups ngabe kuthiwa intsha abesifazane abaphila nokukhubazeka amasotsha omzabalazo bonke labo abasali ngaphandle kwisabelo imali njoba nombiko bekade siwuthulile lekomiti elihloniphekile sasibeka kucaca ukuthi laba sikwazile ukuachieve 100% kodwa laba kusafanele silungise ngenxa yokuthi ucomplya ngokwemthetho kufanele sibaqeqeshe sibalungiselele ba comply kahle ngokomthetho. Ngizwile ke udaba lokuthi umnyango uyadinga ukuthi ube namaphoyisa aqeqeshe ngokwanele. Well, anginasiqinisekiso ukuthi luphi lo qeqesho olanele. Uma uqhathanisa amaphoyisa kuleli izwe lethu, uqhathanisa namaphoyisa akwamanye amazwe. Umhlonishwa nange ngilela sihlalo lapha uyangimemeza uthi ama CPF. Osuwathi mayephawula yena wathi amaphoyisa. Cha kulungile siyathoza kumhlonishwa esihlalo ukuthi angisize. Ingakho sibeke imali phela yokuyoqeqesha ama community safety structures. We have already started with that program. And even engagement ama community safety structures. Odabeni nje Honourable Shinga lalaba balaphana eNtuzuma. Sezintathu igameko okufanele ngabe bayibalula nabo. Ngoba okuqala sibe nomhlangano nabo bona bebodwa bonke laba ngaphansi kwalama police station okuthiwa uInc. Sizoxoxa nabo kukhona amaphoyisa iyosigaxa amabhande ukuthi indlela yokusebenza ukuze baphephe yipi. Sesibaxwayisa nanokuthi phela basona amaphoyisa abakwazi bona ukuthi ngobanye bathi sinikezeni imoto sifuna ukwazi ukujaha igebengu ngeimoto. Manje sithi akuwona umsebenzi wabo bona ukusenzela amaphoyisa kwanezi information makukhona ugango okhona ukuze amaphoyisa akwazi ukuyobamba igebengu. Siphinde futhi ade kunemidlalo ebikade ikhona laphana exhaswe yithina njengohulumeni ebekade bayiqalela bona ngoba sebengene umoya ukuthi fanele bahlangane ukulwa nobugebengu besebenzisa abantu abasha njengoba abantu abasha kuyibona ababamba iqhaza ekhulu. Sakwazi nathi ukuthi sibe ingxenye yalo mdlalo nokuthi iqhubeke. Saphinde saya khona lapha yana siyoba ne community dialogue okusho ukuthi ngamanye amazwi uma bethi akukeneli baqinisile ngoba ubugebengu abukapheli. Kodwa ukusebenza kwamaphoyisa nabo nokubambisana nabo kunezithelo ezinhle kuleya ndawo leyana. Njengoba siphawula ngemimgulukudu nje lenemini eboshiwe nabaningi abanye ebebethi amaphoyisa mayizama ukubabopha bazama ukuphindisela emaphoyiseni amaphoyisa bese ekwazi ukuthi adile nabo. Lokho kukhombisa ukuthi ukukhulu okwenziwayo nobugebengu usaqhubeka kodwa ukukhulu okwenziwayo kule mphakathi ukuba kuqedwe ubugebengu. Ngiyavuma ke kulolu daba lokuthi i-organogram yethu kufanele silekelele ukuthi ibuyekezwe ukuze silekelele ukuthi ama-APP ethu sikwazi ukwa-achieve. Already the department is in the process of reviewing the organogram so that it gives the specific offices even in districts that will ensure that the work of the Department of Community Safety and Liaison is actually enhanced. Ama-community safety structures maningi kakhulu ke akhona emphakathini. O-neighborhood watch, ama-patrollers, o-CPF, o-CCPA, baningi kakhulu abakhona esithi kufanele zama indlela yokuthi ukusebenza kwabo even the private security kufanele zama ukulungisa indlela yokuthi kube khona ukusebenza ngokubambisana ukuze sikwazi ukuthi silwe nobugebengu. Ngingasho ngithi i-effort efakwe njengamanje ukubambisana namaphoyisa sesibe ingxenye nje ama-operations asuke ekhona ukwenza iqinisekise ukuthi iminyango yonke iyabuya ndawonye sibambisane futhi sithokoza kakhulu Ndonga ngoba wonke umuntu okhona la endlini akekho oke wagxeka kodwa wonke umuntu umsebenzi wakho ushayela izandla ngoba that is your leadership that is even assisting us ukuthi iminyango yahlukene ibuye ndawonye sihambe siyoba nama-operations siyola nobugebengu ndawonye. Sizoqhubeka futhi nakho ke lokho Ndonga sikulekelele sibambisane ukuze siyinqobe lempilo nesibhekene nayo. Kodwa ikakhulukazi ngiyagcizelela futhi ngenza ikhwelo lokuthi abantu uqobo lwabo nabaholi bomphakathi ababambe iqhaza ukuthi siqede ubugebengu. Ngiyethemba kuludaba lama plans sengwazile ukukhuluma ngalo udaba lokuinvesta kwi-technology already that is what is happening and we need more. There are areas really wherein we don't have such investment of using technology such as the CCTV and drones as Honourable Gokul was mentioning. There are areas that we still need to ensure that we invest technologies in fighting crime. In particular, inviting the collaboration with the private sector so that they also assist in providing support and resources, because government alone cannot have a budget that will spearhead, in fact, the issue of ensuring that we do have the necessary technology in almost all areas. And that is our understanding. And the issue of joint operation, that is what already is being done, especially targeting the hot spots. Well, on the investment, on the subs, when you also go there in the presentation that I have made on page 6, I've mentioned the 36 cars, the little that we have as a department that we're able to contribute. I've mentioned the 4 trucks, and that is an investment we are doing. We know that is not enough. It is not our duty, in fact, to provide the resources to the police. It is the Department of Police that has a duty to provide resources. And they are providing resources, though they are not enough, owing to the challenges that we are faced with. And will keep on, in fact, being a voice and a call of the people of KwaZulu-Natal to the department to say we need more resources in our province. Well, on the issue of the offenders being the youth, that is why we are having a program which is, we say, Sports Against Crime. We want to bring youth together, and the program that is targeting the youth, because we have agreed in the Council Against Crime that as part of the strategies is to ensure that the youth, since they seem to be the main contributors to crime, we need to have clear programs that would be targeting youth. What is important is that we all try to understand such programs, and we all try to encourage our communities to invite such programs. Well, anginalo iqiniso lokuthi indaba ye-crime is caused by socio-economic factors. Well, research may say so, but I always have a fundamental question. People who are committing crime, some are unemployed, but the majority of unemployed people are not committing crime. There are people who are employed who are committing crime. So I'm not quite sure the balance on the findings by the research, whether we can still sustain that. I think committing crime is a choice. People decide to commit crime. Nangu nje insizwa le eyabulala omunye undodakazi yamgqiba lapha yana eNanda. Yayimanage isebenza. Ade ngisemngcwabeni lapha na kanokuphila Mbele lena ePotchefstroom. Ubulawe isoko lakhe besebenza. Ngavakashela lapha na eMdoni insizwa yashezi eyabulala abaka Lifani, yabulala uma wengane ayekhulelwe, yabulala udadewabo, yabulala no yashaya nomunye wamakhelwane ngenhlahla ngashona, iyakusebenza security iqashiwe inesibhamu esemthethweni. So I want to believe ukuthi I message yokuthi I crime kufanele understand ukuthi crime is committed because of some of the factors, social factors, is encouraging criminals, in fact, to think that they are justified in committing crime. I think we need to be careful when we communicate that message. I must thank the Honourable Member, Honourable Shlomuga, for the contributions that you have made, and I think it has been recorded that in Pietermaritzburg Police Station there are issues as the department will go and do our oversight and monitor what is happening there, and then we should be able to provide a report to the committee. Honourable Chair, to the Honourable Member, Honourable that the budget is equal to 0. Well, I fail to understand the meaning of the budget being equal to 0. What was the meaning of that? When we talk about the increase in the budget of more than 13%, what is equal to 0? When the budget is talking about the programs that are supposed to be actually done by the department, I'm not quite sure. Maybe if the meaning was that is not enough, I agree. Our budget is not enough. Ayenele ngampela uma ubuka umsebenzi okufanele sibe nawo ekufanele siwenze. I think on the spirit of udaba laso thukela umhlonishwa uMaphisa ngibothu uphawule kahle ngithoza kakhulu nakuye sihlalo if forensic investigation report yathebulishwa kwi council and there is a process to deal with abantu abamenishwe yini I forensic report. I don't think kukhona umuntu oyinqabile I forensic report. It went to the municipality and is being attended to. Well, on the issue of corruption, inkinga lento yenkohlakalo emenyezelwayo engekho ama specifics so that whoever has a role and a responsibility to play in stopping corruption will jump in and do it. Ngiyafisa ukuthi kuze sikwazi ukuyiqeda ngempela inkohlakalo. I'm committed that we end corruption. Kodwa kwe sikwazi ukuyiqeda kahle inkohlakalo, fanele makunolwazi lwenkohlakalo siyabika emaphoyiseni